Hello everybody and welcome to Polyamory Match. Here we share real stories by real people. Starting out today with story 1, it reads, New to Polyamory. I was looking for some advice and I thought Reddit was the best place to ask. I, 26, straight male, have been dating a girl, 27, straight female, for a little over a month and things are amazing. Great chemistry, connection, everything. I really fell hard for this girl and her me. Last week she told me that she already has a boyfriend who I also believe is straight of just under 2 years. She recently discovered that she is polyamorous. Talked it through with her boyfriend and everything is consensual. I've always been in monogamous relationships and never really thought about polyamory. I'm also not entirely sure what to expect, but I've never felt a connection with someone like I do with her. So I want to make this work. We've gone through boundaries and rules, etc., and I'm happy with all that. I just worry that I won't get the affection that I'd need as we won't live together and she has to share her time between me and her current boyfriend. I've expressed this to her and she wants me to feel like I have everything I need and just keep talking to her about what I feel. I was looking forward to hearing from other people who are currently in the same dynamic as I am and see how they make it work and for any tips that I could use to keep everyone feeling happy as this is a new thing for everyone involved. Now for some advice and comments. This person says, run. You dated for a month and she didn't tell you about her partner of 2 years? Nah. And then this person says, last week she told me that she sure already had a boyfriend who I also believe is straight of just under 2 years. She recently discovered that she is polyamorous, talked it through with her boyfriend and everything is consensual. If this wasn't one of the first things that you learned about her, this is a massive red flag. I've always been in monogamous relationships and never really thought about polygamy. I hope that's a typo. Tips that I could use to keep everyone feeling happy as this is new for everyone involved. Well, your girlfriend is a hinge, meaning she is the pivot point in a V where you and her other boyfriend are the tips. It's not your job to be concerned about her boyfriend or your meta, short for metamor, and meaning your partner's partner. It's her job as the hinge to behave in accordance with whatever agreement she has in each of her relationships. You should make sure your mental health is being cared for and read all the things in the About section of this sub, and spend a good long time asking yourself if polyamory is a relationship structure you actually want. And then this person says, I really fell hard for this girl and her me. This is called new relationship energy. Last week she told me that she already has a boyfriend. So, she waited until you guys fell hard to tell you? It should have been one of the first things that she did tell you. Everything is consensual, maybe for them, but not for you. She deceived you for a month and while developing many big feelings, so I want to make this work. Are you ready to share her? Not have her available like you've had mono partners available? Are you ready for her to also date more people? Are you ready to maybe never live with her, marry her, have kids with her, since she might do these things with another partner? Not have her around on big holidays if she's with another partner? There's a lot to polyamory, especially if you're coming from monogamy unexpectedly and blindly and have the expectations of a mono relationship. I just worry that I won't get the affection that I'd need. Valid concern. Which is why you should only do poly if it's something you really want and not based on a specific person. I've expressed this to her and she wants me to feel like I have everything I need and just keep talking to her about what I feel. Honestly, she is too new to polyamory to be a guiding light for you. This is literally the blind leading the blind. She already failed at practicing ethical monogamy by not disclosing that she had a boyfriend. OP says, thank you everyone for your responses. The overall consensus is pretty overwhelming and has given me a lot to think about. I never asked for advice on Reddit before, but I think I'll do it more often as you've all been really helpful. Thank you again. And then this person says, would you have dated her if you knew that she had a boyfriend? That's called consent. How did she keep this from you? Was there additional lying? I would have had a hard time trusting her, but since you wanted to proceed, get the specifics on what she is actually offering here. Do they live together? What are their agreements? Can he veto your relationship if he starts getting uncomfortable? What are her long-term plans? Are there limits to what the two of you can do? Vacations, overnights, etc.? Do either of them have other partners? How do they handle sexual health and disclosures? There's more, but you get the idea. Story 2. Monogamous thanks our polyamory. I'm a strict monogamous who has been visiting this group out of curiosity. Reading the posts here have totally impressed me about how serious, thoughtful, even philosophical the poly community and poly participants are. This group's analysis of how relationships work and how to avoid problems has given me a respect for all of you that I've never anticipated. Thank you for tolerating my visits. Unless there is a serious objection, I plan to return and learn more about loving and managing relationships. Thank you. Now for some comments. This person says it's always nice to see posts like these. Appreciate the respect and kindness. We work very hard to keep things ethical and moral while exploring our non-monogamous lifestyles, and many of the same tools that we cultivate are useful no matter the relationship. And it's always wonderful to see someone acknowledge that. You're always welcome to return and learn. We'd welcome your input as well if you have any insights that could be useful. This person says any ethical relationship has a good level of introspection of what is healthy and what is not. Poly people who engage in multiple relationships at the same time tend to get very good very quickly at learning many things and what works for them and what doesn't. But much of the lessons learned apply to every kind of relationship structure, and a few of those lessons are truly unique to the world of poly-structured relationships. I'm glad you're excited to learn more with us. You're welcome anytime. And then this person says, I found in my monogamish past that the communication was the weakest link. Too much game playing and downright dishonesty. My current poly relationship is probably the best that I've had, and yes, that has a lot to do with our inherent compatibility and maturity levels. But also my boyfriend introduced me to communication tools and resources he learned from being poly and part of this community, and I'm grateful for that. OP says again, I suspect that you're right about monogamous communication problems. If so, my wife and I are the exceptions. I've been with my wife for decades. We've had some serious challenges, but we've dealt with each other with mature, logical, and loving conversation. Perhaps that's why I appreciate the discussion here. And then this person says again, that's so wonderful and I hope everything works out. Moving on to story 3. Open letter to the men of our polyamory. I've been that guy. I've made women feel uncomfortable. I've flirted when they didn't want to be flirted with. I've used objectifying language to speak about at or to women. I've hugged for too long, turned a hug into a kiss on the cheek, stood too close. I don't do that anymore, at least I do it a lot less because I learned that, but unlearning was and is uncomfortable and hard, and I'm still wrong sometimes. I was taught that some of what I was doing just in my everyday life was hurtful. More accurately, it was pointed out to me that I was doing it. More accurately, women pointed out I was doing it. It was a woman that pointed out so many women were sharing their stories of abuse and harassment, but there weren't any men taking responsibility for that abuse and harassment. I was that guy. I've been that guy. I'm not writing this for forgiveness, absolution, or a pat on the back. This is a message to the men reading this that don't think that they're that guy. I didn't think that I was, but I absolutely was. In my teens, I was aware of gender issues to the point where I decided to change my name. I chose a gender-neutral one. It didn't stop me from being that guy. A man touched my genitals without my permission. It didn't stop me from being that guy. I wore makeup regularly for years. It didn't stop me from being that guy. I fought with my school about censoring a trans character in a play about caring about celebrating date rape in the very same play. It didn't stop me from being that guy. I work in an industry that has a problem with open secrets and is full of well-meaning guys who aren't that guy. Sometimes I still catch myself being that guy. And I'm still working at it, and I'm still unlearning lessons that run incredibly deep. One of the things I've always said is that I will raise my 2 boys to not be that guy. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to make the same promise to them and to everyone reading this that I made to my partner. I promise to listen, to hear, and to answer you. I've listened to me too. I've heard that men need to be accountable for their actions and the culture that we've all helped to create and maintain. My answer is I will work and continue to work, to call it out and shut it down. I will continue to listen and learn. I will hold all of us accountable because none of us think we're that guy. Now for some comments. This person says, thank you. I read through the post to date and I'm so unhappy to hear all the but women stuff. Thank you from all the women who have been shown penises by preteen boys when they were 5. For the women whose step-grandfather hugged them when they were 12 and said that they loved squeezing her small tits against them. For the women who were groped at work repeatedly. For the women who were date raped by a partner and didn't want to term it rape because it was confusing and they didn't want to label themselves a victim. Thank you from the women who have been violated hundreds of times in little to large ways since the time that they could walk to the time that they hit their 30s. I know men who have been assaulted by women. That's horrible. I did not listen to a guy stop when I was 17. I am guilty of ignoring boundaries and possibly hurting somebody. That was wrong. F you guys who won't get it. Do you not understand that the life of a female is full of unwanted touches? Year after year, we are casually violated by that guy. Can you stop long enough to hear us and help us change things? We aren't denying your reality. We don't want you to be assaulted either. But for God's sake, how do you look at a partner you love, hear about the 10 times somebody grabbed her breasts without her permission in high school, understand it's a part of life of assault, and not want to do something more than say, but women do that stuff too. Women are asking you to do more, to educate yourselves to consent and boundaries, and make sure you're doing the right thing, to stop your friends when they don't act right, to train your sons to listen to no. Thank you, OP. This is what women and I hope men are willing to do. OP says, I would like to say thank you to those who engaged in conversation on this post. I was also genuinely sorry for bringing Red Pill and MGTOW to the sub, among others. I knew it was a risk, but I thought it was a small one. I'm signing off for the night. I tried to carry the weight of the labor I produced, and I really hope that a genuine conversation would come of this. I stand by what I've said, and I'll continue working tomorrow and every day. Thank you for being a great community, and thank you for having this conversation with me. We can all do better. Edit. Back for the day. I'll be on and off. Keep talking. This person says, nice sentiment, but I'm wondering why you chose to post it here. And then this person says, because being polyamorous and having good intentions doesn't prevent you from being that guy. Listening to people when they are trying to help you be better does. Since this is a place of frank discussions and support, being better at having frank discussions and being better at support is a good thing. And then OP says, I am part of this community and regularly see examples of that guy here. Sometimes I call it out, sometimes others already have. Hopefully some of the people who read this will reflect on what they've done in the past and be reminded to continue to learn and grow and act. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your comments in the section down below. Thank you.